We were
Yeah, so
speaking.
you actually had some really cool that we wanted to share with everybody uses for the MCP connector from Claude into NetSuite. I'm just gonna let you go, let you roll
Yeah,
with it.
so we've
It's
just been
cool.
playing around, testing limits, testing analytic capabilities. So today we were testing basically like performance analysis of our item sales and sales and our item costs, and then asking it various questions based on the current state of the business market and tariffs and just the state of the economy in the world. So without further ado, you can see like on this page I have lots of financial data related to my sales. This is all great. This tells me in hindsight and comparative, month to month, year to year, what's going on. But this doesn't really position me to look at anything going forward. So we hooked Claude in and we asked it a couple questions basically. So the first thing I asked it was analysis of, Q24 or 2024 sales. And so that was great. It did a great job at developing some charts and things related to the sales and giving me a quarterly breakdown along with some of the items that went along with those sales, right?
It's so
Then
crazy. Like back in the day, like you or like 2 months ago, you'd be essentially making a view and then a report off of that. Here, you just asked a question.
right, and then so I'm taking it even a step further. I talk about my client demand versus my own internal supply and how to best position myself to meet client demand without oversupplying myself and wasting time, money, and resources. So, here it goes through and it tells me, what things are about to basically crash out and become out of stock. What things should I order? What things should I stop ordering or basically position myself to have better relationships with my vendors to bolster my supply chain.
Yep.
And as we keep going, it talks about budget improvements and things like that. We then took it even a step further and asked it based on the tariff situation. Those of us in the United States and around the world have been experiencing tariffs, both in and importing and exporting
Yep.
into the country. So basically asked it, can you predict what things are going on with the tariffs? How should I position myself to basically maybe increase my prices based on my increased cost? What things are more at risk or less at risk? So it goes through some recommendations here and some percentage increases. So price increases on various degrees based on severity of tariffs impacting the parts that make up these products.
And again, it's based on the inventory you have, and the inventory that's coming,
Mhm.
and it's modeling what your potential to maintain margin, what you would have to mark the products up at.
Yeah, maintain
So,
margin, mitigate risk, position yourself better going into the future, and give you some action things to think about in terms of action items.
help me maximize sales cost. Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah, so then a lot of things about those tariffs is like, well, how do I keep my sales margins? I don't want to have to lay off my workforce. I want to keep my sales margins, but maybe we want to continue to grow our profits, even though we're experiencing sort of a slowdown in the supply or increase in costs and things like that. So we asked it that. It ran a couple of analysis on that and basically said, based on the things that we've noticed in your account, the tariffs and everything, and the state of the economy, these are the recommendations we recommend to make year to year to keep your sales margins. Based on this, I gave it a 5% increase, and it took me through various parts of my businesses, item pricing, mix of products, phasing out stock that's not as profitable or is not making enough
Right.
sales, so you're not spending money on supplying those things. Negotiating better costs, buying in bulk can save yourself some money. So if you have strong item performers, maybe you can buy those in larger quantities to save yourself, you know, 7% here or there. Things like that. And then operational efficiency, that's a lower hanging fruit one there. And then customer segmentation. So at the end of all this, it goes and basically wraps it up in a
Oh,
nice bow of like, how do I go and think about the various portions of my business and each portion to get that 6% and not maybe just delegate it all to, I need to increase my prices by 20% because I have a 20% tariff or something like that. I can spread this out throughout the business and maybe this is a lot less painful and
Right.
you get to keep
Right.
your staff, your efficiency goes up, and maybe you actually end up bolstering yourself for some growth in a time of turmoil economically.
Well, it's
Uh,
cool stuff. I mean, the biggest thing is, a report is just answering a question that you asked it, and this here, you're having a dialogue with something where it's proposing questions you need to maybe look at that you haven't thought of.
mhm. Yeah, especially one that's most recent is recession proof. How do I make my
Right.
business recession proof? So
Right.
a lot of people don't want to have to think about laying off employees and
Staff.
things like that. We've all got
Yeah.
families and lives. So try and keep your team
So,
as close as you can. So, here it gives us a couple
yeah,
recommendations
better
based
recession proof
on
world
bolstering
events.
yourself for a
Wow.
recession. Yeah, cash on hand, bolstering your cash fortress so that you're more recession proof. Working capital, premium product focus. So, like in the previous one where it talks about phasing out lower impact products. So,
Right.
I don't sell this Asus monitor that much. Where it talks about here excessive stock. I only sell 100 of these a month, and I've got 1,100 of them in stock, and I may be stocking 200 a month. Well, that's a really big waste of money if I'm overstocking a product that I'm not turning over frequently enough. So that can help you basically create more moving capital and better cash flow for your business. So
Cool. Well, we will do more videos on this. It's, I think we need to be a little concerned. It's like a consultant in a box.
it is, yeah,
Why would
it
they
really
call
is.
us? You have the consultant right there in the AI asking you all the right questions. I love it. Well, anyway, I don't think we have anything to worry about, but that's it for today. But we will keep doing some testing, and when we find some interesting stuff, we'll share it with you. Thanks.
Awesome. Thank you.